Nothing's going to happen.
You know business.
Terry,
I want to ask you.
I do know business.
Yes.
And
so 145% tariffs on China, and that is
that's good.
basically
That's
an
good.
embargo.
They deserve it.
It'll raise prices on
They
everything
deserve
from
it.
electronics to clothing to building houses.
You don't.
Hey everyone, welcome back to True Voice, where we talk truth, justice, and a better America for every American. Today, we're diving into an ABC News exclusive interview where former President Donald Trump goes full throttle on China tariffs, saying, and I quote, "They deserve it."
Well, you said something a couple weeks ago that struck me. You said concerning the tariffs, which economists say are going to raise prices, you said, quote, hang tough. Yeah. It won't be easy. You said that to the American people. Is that what Americans should expect, some hard times?
I've said
because
that during my
tariffs?
campaign. Look, we won a campaign by a lot. We won all 7 swing states. We won the popular vote by a lot. You know, we had a tremendous campaign. I said all of these things during my campaign. I said, you're going to have a transition period. We've been ripped off by every country all over the world. They're laughing at us. They thought we were stupid people, and we were. And I said, that's not going to happen. We're not going to let that happen.
Hard times are ahead?
I don't think so. I think great times are ahead. Look, since I came in, gasoline is down, groceries are down, egg prices are down, many things are down, just about everything. You know, you don't have the drop in fuel and energy and oil like we did. I took it from maybe $3.20, maybe more than that, down into a much lower number. When you have that kind of a drop, you're not going to have inflation.
Not now, but it's the tariffs, right? We still have 145% tariffs on China. Your Treasury Secretary said we basically have an embargo on China.
Look, you're trying to say something's going to happen, Terry.
No, okay, well,
nothing's going to happen.
You know business.
Terry,
I want to ask you.
I do know business.
Yes,
and
so 145% tariffs on China, and that is
that's good.
basically
that's
an
good.
embargo.
They deserve it.
It'll raise prices on everything from electronics to clothing to building houses.
You don't know that. You don't know whether or not China's going to eat it.
That's mathematics.
China probably will eat those tariffs, but at 145, they basically can't do much business with the United States. And they were making from us $1 trillion a year. They were ripping us off like nobody's ever ripped us off. And by the way, we have other countries that were just as bad. If you look at the European Union, it was terrible what they've done to us. Every country, almost every country in the world was ripping us off. They're not doing that anymore.
So let's break it down. Not just as progressives, but as patriotic Americans who believe in fair trade, strong communities, and a government that puts people before profit. Trump starts by acknowledging hard times. He says, essentially, get ready for pain, but trust me. Now listen, I believe in American resilience. But when a leader tells you to buckle up without a plan that protects working people, it's not strength. It's negligence. We already had hard times. The working class, the middle class, the poor. We've borne the brunt of globalization, yes, but also corporate greed and a tax system rigged for billionaires. Tariffs don't fix that. He brags about slapping massive tariffs, 145%, on China. Let's be clear, tariffs aren't paid by China. They're paid by American importers, businesses, and ultimately you at the grocery store, the hardware store, and online. He says, China might just eat the cost. That's not economics. That's wishful thinking. Yes, the global trade system needs reform. China, multinationals, Wall Street, they've abused labor and hollowed out communities. But Trump's approach is just throwing a brick through the window without fixing the system. Where's the investment in American manufacturing? Where's the Green New Deal to create sustainable jobs here at home? Where's the worker-focused trade policy? He doesn't say, because this isn't about workers. It's about ego and control. This part just isn't based in reality. When he says prices are down, I'm sorry, but ask any working family. Food banks are seeing record demand. Rent is up. Healthcare is crushing families. Sure, crude oil fluctuated, but price drops aren't proof of policy success. They're temporary, and sometimes due to global market trends, not presidential brilliance. Trump claims China made $1 trillion a year from the U.S. That's not how trade deficits work. A trade deficit means we buy more from China than they buy from us. It doesn't mean we're losing cash like it's a poker game. And what do we get? Cheap goods, supply chains, and profits that went, not to workers, but to CEOs and shareholders. So yeah, we were losing. But not to China, to our own broken system that values stock buybacks over fair wages. Here's the real heart of the issue. That phrase, they deserve it. That's not policy. That's grudge politics. If we want to be a global leader, if we want to restore our economy, we need coalitions, not vendettas. We need to compete smartly with tech, education, and clean energy, not by isolating ourselves or starting trade wars that hurt farmers, union workers, and consumers. A true patriot fights for the common good, not just to win. I'm all for putting America first, but that means putting Americans first, not corporations, not nationalism, not petty score settling with foreign powers while American families foot the bill. A left-wing patriot believes in economic justice, fair trade, and global cooperation, not jingoistic posturing. So what would a real solution look like? Investing in American infrastructure and green jobs, protecting unions, and raising the minimum wage, taxing the billionaires and corporations who offshore jobs, creating smart trade deals with enforceable labor and climate standards, standing up to China with allies, not in isolation. Tariffs can be part of the toolbox, but they have to be strategic, not reckless. Trump says they deserve it. I say, we deserve better. We deserve a government that tells us the truth, that doesn't gamble with the economy for headlines, that puts people above politics and policy above pride. We love this country. That's why we demand more from it. Thanks for tuning in to True Voice. Like, subscribe, and share this if you believe in an America that works for all of us. Not just the loudest voice in the room. Stay strong, stay informed, stay united.